So my phone is at 10%. It's like 6 p.m. and it's a Sunday. So I'm going to try and make this quick today. My hair is grease slicked because I had a massage today and it was truly a spiritual experience. And I want to tell you about it. If you are somebody who is going through like a deep healing journey right now, you know what I'm saying. If you're like dealing with your shit and you're like on that shit right now, I want you to maybe try this technique that I did today. So I went and had a 2-hour Hawaiian lomi. I'm not sure how you actually pronounce it. And kahuna massage. What is that, you may ask? Let me tell you. Essentially, it was a massage where you're doing talk therapy whilst you're getting a massage. So if you're someone who is really working with the whole like mind body connection, if you're like me and your body literally gives you random aches and pains and that's how it communicates that something needs to be dealt with, then this is going to be really great for you. But I think even not, it was just a really cool experience. So it was with my yoga teacher, Nadia. Talked about how she was coming on the podcast. It's actually happening next week on Thursday. So really excited about that. And we're doing in person, which is really cool. Never get to do that. So I'm pumped for that. But she mentioned that she was doing like a special offer basically on it at the end of one of our yoga classes. And I was like, I'm interested. I could do a little bit of that. So I booked one in. And when I got there, she like sat me down and wanted to, I guess, chat to me about not only was it what I was feeling physically, but also what I was going through emotionally. Because basically the whole premise is to work with pressure points on the body and work with stored trauma and release it physically whilst you are emotionally moving through it. So she was like, anything can happen during the session. You could break down and cry. You could want to yell and scream. You could want to shake. You could want to whatever. If anything's happening, you just let me know and we talk through it and we work through it. We just hold the space whilst you move through those emotions. I was like, okay, amazing. But she asked me to just like sit and think about like what it is that I want to in my life and how I could shift that into an I am statement, because we were going to work with that affirmation during the massage. And what came through for me was I am free. That was my affirmation that I wanted to work with, that was just coming through. And as I was talking to her about my past, about my CPTSD, about some of the experiences that I have uncovered in therapy that are connected to that. One is childhood, one is like stuff that happened in my 20s that have been like the main things that have come up to the surface when it comes to all the stuff with CPTSD. Anyway, I was telling her all about this, and then I was telling her about the pain that I have and how I have arthritic pain in my lower back, but literally yesterday I was experiencing this headache that kind of went from my neck all the way down into the middle of my back, and also like a sharp pain in my chest, but it didn't feel like it was in my chest. It felt like it was in like the muscles in my chest, if that makes sense. And as I was talking to her and just sharing all this with her, I'm again not going to get into specifics because that's trauma dumping and I don't really want to do that, and I'm still working through it, and I have to, as much as I'm an oversharer and just want to like share everything with you on the internet, I need to put my boundaries in and just, keep this stuff somewhat private to a certain degree. So basically, as she was telling me what those areas mean and what they in this sort of line of work represent, it was all lining up. And a lot of stuff around becoming a mum, a lot of stuff around freedom, obviously, a lot of stuff around forgiveness, trust, confidence, just really, really big stuff, right? And the whole premise of this massage is to forgive, to walk out of the session with a level of forgiveness, to spend that time to forgive. And the biggest thing after we chatted was that came through for me as we were talking was like, I just need to let the fuck go. Let go of some stuff. Let go of what happened to me. Let go of the stories. Let go of societal expectations. Let go of expectations in general, other people's expectations of me. Just let it all go. And during this massage, I cried so much. Like, cried. It was actually kind of weird because I was laying face down when I first started crying, and the tears were just like falling straight out of my eyes onto the floor, which was kind of a weird sensation, not gonna lie. I've never cried just face down before. But it was such a beautiful experience. It is not an odd experience for me to have like waves of panic and anxiety whilst I'm having a massage. But obviously when you're having a massage, if you think about something that's triggering, or especially if you have like any form of PTSD, once your brain's in that thought loop, it's really hard to get out of it. It's not just to stop thinking about it. It's not just to breathe through it. But like that's all you can do is just breathe through it. But like it's hard to unlock your mind from that thought loop. And that's been one thing that I kind of stepped away from getting. I used to get fortnightly massages because I was experiencing this stuff, because obviously when they're massaging you, they're getting into the deep tissues and all that sort of stuff. It can be really triggering to those emotions. Again, just read The Body Keeps the Score and then you'll understand. And if you've read it, then you get what I'm talking about. But it was so cool to have a space where the whole point was to voice those things. So there were like 2 times where I had this wave of nausea, and we talked about it, and she held me in it, and we asked it what it needed and what message it was giving me. And I had so many revelations, and because you're like eyes closed, you're in a meditative state, it's almost like subconscious talk therapy and somatic. It was fucking wild. It's definitely not something I'm going to be doing like every month, but it is something that I think I will check in with myself every month and be like, ooh, do I feel like I need to maybe go a little bit deeper? And that is the session to do it. I honestly feel like I walked out of there. The feeling I said to her was, you know, when you're a teenager and you think you know everything and you're so self-assured and you're so fucking confident. Obviously we can be really insecure when we're teenagers, but that wasn't me. When I was a teenager, I was the most confident I've ever been. And I'm still pretty confident now. But like that inner confidence where you're like, I know what's right for me. I know what I want. Like your desires are so clear. What you don't like is so clear. And that sense of self isn't actually true, really. You're discovering it, but it's like, no, I love this. This is what I want. You have that sense of conviction when you're a teenager. I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely did. And I have not felt that sense of self-conviction in a really, really long time. And that's freedom, baby. That's fucking freedom. And yeah, I feel really unbothered in a way of like, I'm good. In the way that letting go of some bullshit makes you feel. Lighter is not the term. It's more grounded, it's more convicted. So I'm excited to see like how I move over the next couple of weeks, what comes up for me over the next couple of days. But yeah, shout out to fucking Nadia. Shout out to all the work that she does. I'm so excited to have her on the podcast. She's incredible. If you're on the Central Coast and you're looking for someone to support you IRL and help you, she's a life coach. She's also really like immersed in tantric stuff too, so a lot of stuff around relationships, which was really perfect for the stuff for me that came up in my 20s that contributed to my CPTSD. It was all relationship stuff. Loved her, loved the session. And yeah, if you're on the sunny coast, hit me up and I'll give you her info because it was incredible. It was literally amazing. Okay, rock on.